Chuck Norris, born Carlos Ray Norris in Ryan, Oklahoma, entered the world in 1940 under circumstances far from glamorous. His early life was marked by poverty, instability, and the uncertainty that many children of struggling families faced during that era. His father, Ray Norris, worked as a mechanic and had served in World War II, but life at home was often difficult. Chuck's mother, Wilma, worked tirelessly to support the family and provide stability for her 3 sons. As the family moved frequently in search of better opportunities, Chuck grew up shy and unsure of himself. At school, he often kept to the background, feeling overlooked and lacking confidence. These early experiences, though painful at times, quietly shaped the resilience that would define his future. The boy who felt invisible in classrooms and uncertain at home would eventually grow into someone who inspired millions around the world. Searching for direction. By the time he reached adulthood, Chuck still felt unsure about where his life was headed. At 18, he joined the United States Air Force, hoping the experience would give him purpose and direction. The decision was less about ambition and more about seeking a new environment where he could grow and redefine himself. Military life introduced discipline and structure that he had not experienced before. While stationed at Osan Air Base in South Korea in the late 1950s, Chuck spent long days performing his duties and adjusting to life far from home. Like many young servicemen abroad for the first time, he faced moments of loneliness and self-reflection. Yet those quiet moments also opened the door to change. The distance from his past allowed him to think about the person he wanted to become. It was in Korea that he would stumble upon something that quietly changed the course of his life forever. Discovering martial arts. One day in South Korea, Chuck wandered into a small martial arts training hall. Watching students practice with focus and discipline captured his attention immediately. The controlled movements, respect between teacher and student, and sense of purpose in the room felt different from anything he had experienced before. Curious and inspired, he decided to begin training. At first, it was difficult. His body was not conditioned for the demanding movements, and progress came slowly. But martial arts introduced him to a philosophy centered on patience, persistence, and self-control. Instead of competing against others, he learned to improve himself step by step. Over time, training gave him confidence he had never known. The shy young airman gradually transformed into someone who believed in his own potential. By the time his military service ended in the early 1960s, martial arts had become far more than a hobby. It had become a guiding path for his life, building a dream from nothing. Returning to the United States in 1962, Chuck carried his martial arts training with him, but quickly realized that the discipline was still unfamiliar to most Americans. Opportunities were limited, and he initially worked ordinary jobs while trying to support his young family. Still, he continued practicing every evening, determined not to lose the focus he had discovered overseas. Eventually, he took a bold step and opened a small martial arts school in Torrance, California. The studio was modest, and in the beginning, very few students enrolled. Some days he wondered if the idea would fail entirely. But Chuck believed in what martial arts had given him and continued teaching with dedication. Slowly, word spread about his skill and his sincere teaching style. Students began arriving not only to learn techniques, but also to experience the discipline and respect he emphasized. The small dojo became the foundation for a future he had once struggled to imagine. Becoming a champion. As Chuck's reputation grew, he began entering martial arts competitions during the 1960s. Tournament fighting demanded focus, strategy, and endurance. Through constant training and determination, Chuck developed a reputation for calm precision in the ring. Over several years, he competed in major events and achieved remarkable success, eventually becoming a 6-time world middleweight karate champion. His record in competition placed him among the most respected martial artists of his generation. These victories brought recognition and opened new doors. Yet for Chuck, the tournaments were about more than trophies. They represented proof that dedication could transform self-doubt into confidence. The boy who once felt invisible had earned a place among the best fighters in the world. Even with these achievements, however, he continued searching for new challenges. He sensed that martial arts could reach a wider audience, though he did not yet know that Hollywood would soon play a role in that journey. A door opens in Hollywood. Chuck's entry into film began through an unexpected connection with the legendary martial artist and actor Bruce Lee. The two men respected each other's skills and developed a friendship based on their shared passion for martial arts. In 1972, Bruce Lee invited Chuck to appear in the film Way of the Dragon. Chuck played the formidable opponent in the movie's famous final fight scene filmed in Rome's ancient Colosseum. The intense duel between the two fighters became one of the most memorable martial arts sequences ever filmed. For audiences around the world, it was the first time seeing Chuck's powerful presence on screen. The role helped introduce him to international audiences and proved that his skills could translate beyond tournament arenas. Although acting was new territory, Chuck embraced the opportunity and began exploring a career in film that would soon grow far beyond that single appearance. Finding his place in action cinema. Following his film debut, Chuck continued working in martial arts while accepting acting roles that highlighted his fighting ability. Through the late 1970s and 1980s, he starred in several action movies that resonated with audiences who enjoyed straightforward heroes and intense fight scenes. Films such as The Octagon, Lone Wolf McQuade, and the popular Missing in Action series helped establish his reputation as a dependable action star. Unlike many actors of the time, Chuck's fighting style came from genuine martial arts experience, which made his performances feel authentic. While critics sometimes overlooked these films, fans appreciated the combination of action and discipline he brought to the screen. Over time, he developed a unique identity in Hollywood, the quiet hero whose strength came from determination and integrity. This reputation would eventually lead to the role that made him a global household name: the Walker, Texas Ranger years. In 1993, Chuck Norris took on the role of Cordell Walker in the television series Walker, Texas Ranger. The show combined crime drama with martial arts action and quickly became popular with audiences around the world. Week after week, viewers tuned in to watch Walker solve cases while promoting themes of justice, responsibility, and community values. The series ran for 8 seasons and more than 200 episodes, becoming one of the defining television programs of the decade. For Chuck, the role represented the peak of his acting career. It introduced him to millions of new fans and allowed him to share lessons about discipline and perseverance through entertainment. Although the schedule was demanding, the show strengthened his legacy as a cultural icon. Even years after the final episode aired, the character of Walker remained closely associated with Chuck Norris in the minds of viewers everywhere, becoming an internet legend. Long after his action films and television series aired, Chuck Norris experienced an unexpected surge of popularity thanks to internet culture. Online jokes known as Chuck Norris facts began circulating in the mid-2000s. These humorous exaggerations portrayed him as an unstoppable figure capable of impossible feats. Lines like, "Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down," quickly spread across websites and social media. Instead of rejecting the jokes, Chuck embraced them with good humor. He understood that the memes were a playful tribute to his on-screen persona rather than literal claims. The phenomenon introduced him to younger generations who had never seen his earlier films or television work. What started as simple jokes turned into a global cultural moment. Chuck Norris became more than an actor or martial artist. He became a symbol of strength, resilience, and lighthearted humor that people everywhere could recognize instantly. Lessons from life and legacy today. Chuck Norris is remembered not only for his achievements in martial arts and entertainment, but also for the life lessons that shaped his journey. Through programs like Kickstart Kids, he has helped young people discover discipline and confidence through martial arts training. Looking back, he often speaks about the importance of persistence, humility, and staying connected to the people who matter most. His story reminds us that success rarely arrives overnight. It grows from small steps taken with determination, even when progress feels slow. From a shy boy in Oklahoma to an international icon, Chuck's path shows how resilience can transform a life. Yet he also emphasizes that true fulfillment comes from relationships, kindness, and giving back. In the end, his greatest legacy may not be his films or championships, but the inspiration he continues to offer to anyone striving to believe in themselves.